Hey everyone, Corey here coming at you today. It's Sunday today. I'm actually getting a walk and talk in on the weekend, which was my original intent. Sunday, what are we? February 23rd, mid-afternoon. Quiet day at home today, and happy to get out and go for a walk in beautiful North Deroche. I guess technically I missed last week's walk and talk. I think it was February 12th that I did the last walk and talk, but we'll get back on track here today and hope that you're all having a great weekend. Lots going on since the last walk and talk. It was February 12th. It was my dad's birthday, and we have been celebrating birthdays all month long in my world. Of course, Yosuke's birthday was over the weekend, and so we went down to the city and spent a night in the city. I think I was hinting in the last walk and talk that I had a big night in the city planned for Yosuke's birthday, and he didn't know what we were going to do. So I had purchased tickets to see Margaret Cho. Margaret Cho is part of, not sure what the name of the music festival is now, or music festival, the comedy festival that was happening. But Margaret Cho was at the Vogue Theatre on Sunday night, which happened to be Yosuke's birthday. So we got tickets to go and see Margaret Cho. And if you don't know Margaret Cho, she's a Korean American. I think she told us that she was 56 years old, which shocked me. And she also told us during her show that she's bisexual. I had always thought that Margaret Cho was a lesbian, but turns out she's bisexual. And so just a whole bunch of really relatable humor, both regards to, being Asian and having that Asian experience in North America. She lives in the United States, by the way, so there was a lot of talk of you know what, you know who. But then also a lot of relatable content with regards to her experience not being straight. And for those who are straight, you may not have considered the perspective of someone who's not straight, but for those of us who are not straight, it's kind of refreshing to be able to sit in a room with others and share kind of a common experience and a laugh, because it's always good to be able to laugh about stuff that we experience in our lives that maybe isn't always laughable. But when someone like Margaret Cho gets up on the stage and kind of puts a lens over our lived experience, that's kind of a cool thing. So we laughed. I laughed as hard as I've laughed in a really long time, but I also got extremely uncomfortable in a couple of parts of her set, which is what I think that a comedian's supposed to do. I think that a comedian has the license to obviously make us laugh about things that sometimes don't appear to be funny, but also to push boundaries and to make us really stop and think and consider the perspective of other people. And so, great time there. We went to a Japanese restaurant in the city that we'd never been to before. Can't remember the name of it, but I had picked it out because it was within walking distance of both the hotel and the theater. And we had a great night in the city. Tried a new hotel for us. We were at the Hyatt Regency. It was all right in terms of hotels go. It was nothing special, nothing fantastic, but a great location. And we had a fun time. So the rest of the week was pretty intense, work-wise. I talked last week about about the budget that I've been working on with the Agri Fair for the 2025 Agri Fair. And I got to present that budget to the board on Tuesday night. So I spent most of last week meeting with suppliers and vendors and contractors and just trying to really drill down on costs for Agri Fair. And we had a couple of committee meetings. So yeah, it was a pretty intense week. There was also some meetings with regards to my work with Fraser Valley Regional District, in particular the Hatzic Watershed Stewardship Team, which I'm a part of, and now as of this week, I'm now the chair of the Hatzic Watershed Stewardship Team. So we had kind of a pivotal meeting with that this week as well, kind of talking about next steps and starting to engage stakeholders and the public in the future of how we manage, in particular, flooding within the Hatzic watershed. So crazy week. I've mentioned before, I don't like the word busy, so I'm not going to stand here and talk about how busy I was, but it was intense and it was productive and it was good. We also had 2 sessions of music bingo this week, 2 fantastic fundraisers at the Dudney Pub. Friday night we raised money for Mission Secondary Dry Grad, and I think they had a record number of people in the pub for music bingo on Friday. I think at one point I counted 110 people in the pub playing music bingo, and raised a bunch of money to support the grads in their dry grad. And then on Saturday night, last night, we had the ESR Elementary School pack. They came in, and we had 70 people playing music bingo at the pub on Saturday night. So that's almost a full house. So really, really great weekend so far. I was tired this morning, I'll admit. I think it's probably around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that on Sunday now. And I was moving pretty slow this morning. So I'm happy for a bit of a rest. Yosuke, on the other hand, is not resting. He had another competition in Langley today with his athletes from Twisters Gymnastics. So he was up and left the house fairly early this morning, before I got about it, I'll tell you that. And yeah, hopefully he's having a good day there. So that's what's happened. What's going to happen, as I said, my focus this week, the beginning of the week, is to get the Agri Fair budget before the board. And then on Thursday, we're going to Vegas to see Garth Brooks. If you know me at all, you know that I've been a massive Garth Brooks fan since I was a teenager, since high school. And seen Garth Brooks a couple of times in different arenas. Rogers Arena, I think we might have seen him at the Coliseum way back when. We've been to Edmonton and Tacoma to see Garth during his stadium tours. And for the past few years, he's been doing a residency in Vegas at, I think it's Caesars. And so he announced last summer maybe, Garth announced that he was going to be ending his Las Vegas residency just in a couple of weeks here. I think mid-March is the end of the Vegas residency. And so before the US election, before tariff talk, before all of that crap came our way, we had bought tickets to see Garth, bought our plane tickets, booked our hotels, and we've got our friends Aaron and Dave that are going to be joining us this weekend in Vegas. So not necessarily the destination that I want to be going off to, but I'm super stoked to see an intimate version of Garth Brooks. And yeah, I'm getting pretty pumped. So we leave Thursday night, back Sunday. So I won't be doing a walk and talk on the weekend unless we do something on the strip in Vegas. That might be fun. But yeah, super excited about that. I did, in my last walk and talk, I once again asked for suggestions in the comments with regards to topics that you might be interested in hearing me talk about. And my sister-in-law, Sasha, she commented that being that it was Family Day last week, was it this week? Oh my God, this last week's felt like a month. I think Family Day was just last Monday. Sasha suggested that since it was Family Day weekend, maybe I could share my thoughts on what family means to me. So as I was pondering that topic, I realized that my perspective on Family Day might be a little bit different than some of the people in my community. I'm going to share my perspective and my thoughts on Family Day, and what family means to me. But I'm going to preface it by saying that I know that my experience is not the same as everyone else's experience. In fact, that's just kind of a principle that we should kind of wrap our heads around in general, that we all have a different lived experience. Even if we come from the same communities or we have similar backgrounds, we all have a different lived experience that gives us a different perspective on life. And so all I'm going to do now is share my perspective, what family means to me from my lived experience, and acknowledge that there are a lot of people who were posting on social media over the Family Day long weekend that family does mean something different to them than it means to me. And that's okay. And I hope that by sharing my perspective that I don't want to imply that my perspective is what family means, because it means something different to anybody. And so just to kick it off, for me, the word family, it does refer specifically to the bond that we all have with our biological family. So biological mom and dad, I don't think there's anything that can come close to the bond that we have with our biological moms. And I understand that for a lot of people, mom wasn't in the picture, and that mom may have been someone who did not give birth to us. And a lot of us, a lot of people, maybe dad took off, or I get it, I understand it. But for me, my perspective, my lived experience, family is about that undeniable bond, good or bad, that we have with our blood relatives. And so for me, mom and dad, my sister, Yosuke, his mom, his siblings. For us, when Family Day comes, it's a time for us to attempt to spend time and to think about, reflect on the bond that we have with our biological families. And so I think for me, that bond that we have with our biological family, it can't be compared. And I think, sometimes we hear conversations or comments about a chosen family. And my perspective, we can't choose our family. Good, bad, or ugly, family refers to our biological next of kin, if you want to say that. But I do fully buy in and understand the concept of community, and how community can, in some cases, take the place in our lives of our biological families. And for whatever reason, some people don't have that same connection with their biological families. And so their community, their friends, their community, the folks that they choose to spend their time with on Family Day or Christmas Day or just that support system, I understand how community can sometimes fill the gaps that family doesn't. But from my perspective, family and community are very different. And it's all about that special bond that you have with the folks who created you. So for me, we didn't actually get to spend time specifically with our family over the Family Day weekend. Of course, here in Deroche, we are so incredibly lucky to be able to cohabitate on a piece of property that my grandfather purchased back in the 1940s. And my birth family, we're all here on this property. And so just this morning, my dad came down and we had a cup of coffee together, and my sister and I, we had a rare opportunity to meet up for coffee this week. But over the actual Family Day weekend, we were celebrating Yosuke's birthday. So we did also get to spend time with Yosuke's side of the family. Sasha's birthday was end of January, so we all got together for an amazing dinner at the Chop Steakhouse and Grill in Richmond, and had a very, very good prime rib dinner there, and just a great, I guess it was late afternoon, early evening, spending time with Yosuke's side of the family, celebrating a birthday. So I want to thank Sasha for suggesting that. I'm expecting some reaction. I'm expecting some comments. And I'm absolutely happy to learn more about others' perspectives on what family means to them. And I know that I can learn from others. And I will always attempt to understand others' perspectives and how their lived experience kind of molds and forms and shapes their perspective and how they view things like family. So I welcome those comments. If I've touched a nerve or triggered anyone with my comments about family, happy to even have a conversation. Respectful dialogue and conversation is really what we need more of, because I think that we need to spend more time working to understand people's perspectives, especially those that are different from ourselves. And thank you, Sasha, for suggesting that, and look forward to reactions, comments, conversations with regards to what family means to us. We're just coming up on the 20-minute mark, and I just want to take a moment just to describe where I am. I am in the, I guess this is the playing field of the Deroche Elementary School. The school itself is back there on the other side of the creek, and this is, the school district has built a fantastic track here on the school grounds, covered picnic gathering shelter there, that I think the PAC, the Dewdney Elementary School PAC, they were instrumental in getting this going. I know that there was some grant money from the regional district grant and aids that were put towards that, a lot of community support, and then in the background there as well, a really cool kids play gym. I will say, living kind of kitty corner to this facility, love to see it used more. Obviously during school times, the kids are out here and they get to enjoy this, but you know, there's a lot of tracks around in some of the municipalities that we see people up walking the track all the time, and we don't see that here. And to be honest with you, I think this might be the second time in my life that I've come out and walked the track. So would love to see this get used a bit more, but what a beautiful setting. Not just a beautiful setting to live in and get to call home, but you get to go to school here. That's pretty cool. So I hope that you're all having a fantastic weekend. I hope that you're getting some rest and some time off. And I was chatting with some folks this morning who, you know, the weekend doesn't mean any different for them for work. They're working today. And so just a shout out to everyone that's working on a Sunday. But I hope that you get an opportunity for some rest. I got some bags under my eyes. Maybe I'll need to go and have a little nap before Yosuke gets home. Have a wonderful week. I will work hard to get a video up next Monday. Let you know how Vegas was. Let you know how the experience of being in the United States in this weird time as a Canadian is, and let you know how awesome my buddy Garth Brooks is. Thank you to everyone that watched the last video to the end and got the word budget into the comments. Yosuke made a comment that rather than just throwing out a word that related to my talk, that maybe I ask folks a question so that it's you coming up with the answer to the question as opposed to me. I think there's Yosuke right there driving up. He's home, so I better finish this and get in there. I guess I'm not going to get my nap now. Anyway, so my question, if you've watched to the end, where are we going next weekend? I told you Yosuke and I are going away next weekend, and we're going to see Garth Brooks. What city are Yosuke and I traveling to next weekend? If you know, if you watch to the end, put the name of the city in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.